left if that's available.
Papa Hotel Tango, India Mike, Palm Springs Tower, squawk 6250.
6250.
Papa Hotel Tango, India Mike, Palm Springs altimeters 2985, radar contact about 10 miles west of the Palm Springs VOR. Presently landing runway 31, you're requesting straight in for 13.
If that's available, please.
Ever departure Papa Hotel Tango, India Mike, make straight in runway 13 left and clear to land. Wind is 09005.
Clear to land, runway 3 left, Papa Hotel Tango, India Mike, thanks.
Palm Springs clearance, Pilots 4658 is type PC final land call request clearance to Vegas S-File.
Plus 4658, Palm Springs clearance. Good afternoon. Unable to give you S-File, and I'll be full route standby. Plus 4658 is cleared to the Las Vegas airport via flight Cathedral 1 departure procedure to Palm Springs, Victor 370 to 29 Palms, Victor 538, Cresso, join the Cresso 3 arrival. Maintain 7,000. Check flight level 2405 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 126.7, squawk 6316.
Pilots 4658 is cleared to Vegas via Cathedral 1, Palm Springs, Victor 37029, Palms, Victor 538, Cresso 3. Initially climb 7,000, expect user S25, departure 167, flight 6 plus 465.
Plus 4658, three back is correct. Tango Mike, connect to the ground via Echo and frequency.
Fixing to the ramp via Echo, remaining on this frequency, Papa Hotel Tango, India Mike.
Ontario Tower says the 237 Charlie Alpha approximately 4 miles to the west inbound to land.
Number 237, Charlie Alpha, roger, inner left, traffic, left downwind runway 26, left report base.
Enter left downwind 26 left to report your base 237 Charlie Alpha.
Charlie Tower United 242 on the visual for 20 right, returning for right base shortly.
United 242, John Wayne Tower, runway 20 right, clear to land, wind 170.3.
Clear to land, 20 right, United 242.
Here 520 Yankee Kilo, Palomar Tower, runway 24, clear to land, wind 210 at 1. Number 237, Charlie Alpha, runway 26 left, clear to land.
Left base land 7 Charlie Alpha.
Palm Springs ground Pilots 4658 is trying to weather going for taxi.
Plus 4658, Palm Springs ground, runway 31 right, taxi via Echo and Bravo.
Trail right via Echo Bravo 465.
Riverside Tower, good morning, November 2903 Alpha with you on the island.
Number 2903 Alpha, Riverside Tower, good afternoon. Runway 9 clear low approach, report miss.
November 2903 Alpha, low approach, runway 9, next week over to
Palm Springs Tower Pilots 4658 ready to go train right at Bravo.
Plus 4658, Palm Springs Tower, runway 31 right, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, train right Pilots 465.
Here's our Yankee Kilo, Rush taxi into the ramp via Alpha. Plus 4658, contact so departure.
Contact departure 465.
Says the 7 Charlie Alpha is clearly active taxi to the GA parking base.
Push 7 Charlie Alpha, and on this frequency taxi into the south ramp via Sierra.
South Ramp via Sierra with you 7 Charlie Alpha. Thanks.
November 2903 Alpha going around.
Number 03 Alpha, confirm going around or going missed.
November 2903 Alpha going missing.
Number 03 Alpha, roger, execute the published missed approach procedure.
Flying at public mid-approach procedure, November 2903.
Piper 2903 Alpha, contact SoCal departure.
Contact departure, 03 Alpha.
Number 03 Alpha, departure frequency 135.4.
135.4 for departure, November 2903.
Ontario Tower, November 516 Delta Mike, inbound ILS 26 left. Or 516 Delta Mike, Ontario Tower. Good afternoon, Ontario. Wind is calm. Runway 26 left, clear to land.
26 left, clear to land, 6 Delta Mike. Ontario Tower, November 36. Correction, 516 Delta Mike, clear the active uniform, taxiing to the south apron.
Number 6 Delta Mike, roger, taxi on the south ramp via Sierra. Remain on this frequency.
Via Sierra on this frequency, 6 Delta Mike.
Riverside Tower, November 2903 Alpha
27, clear to land.
Clear to land on runway 27, 03 Alpha. Riverside routes, November 2903 Alpha. In Alpha, request taxi to the transient partner.
Number 2903 Alpha, Riverside ground. In the future, don't switch to the ground frequency unless you're told to do so. Should stay with tower, exiting the runway all the way to the hold short point. Stay on this frequency for now, taxi into the ramp via Alpha.
Taxi to ramp via Alpha. Broadband. November 2903 Alpha.
Runway clear. Runway clearance, November 6th, Charlie Mike Cherokee. I would like to attempt the I-4 rating today.
Cherokee 76 Charlie Mike Jolly clearance. Good evening. Good luck on the I-4 destination. Will be Kilo Oscar X-ray Romeo.
That's Kilo Oscar X-ray Romeo. 6 Charlie Mike.
Yes, sir. Good luck.
I'm gonna sign off and collect some information for this destination. I'll sign back in. Is that okay?
Absolutely. Just report when you're back with the I-4. And how long do you think it'll be? It's not going to be more than an hour, is it?
No. I have to file and get some charts and plates.
Wonderful. Yeah, I'll still be here, so it shouldn't be a problem. And we'll look for your flight plan to come through. Which you guys have.
Las Vegas Tower Plus 4658 unusual 1 on the right 4500.
Plus 4658 Las Vegas Tower, runway 19 right, clear to land, wind 1807.
Clear to land 19 right 465.
Plus 658 exit right, taxi into the ramp via hotel. Remain on this frequency today.
Exit right, ramp hotel, and frequency update 465.
Ground number 95 for Whiskey Alpha's Piper Comanche PH4/Alpha.
Taxi be active, VFR east departure with weather.
Calling Long Beach ground, need you to verify your call sign, please.
Sorry about that, 916 Whiskey Alpha, November 916 Whiskey Alpha.
Comanche 9016 Whiskey Alpha, Long Beach ground, roger. And just confirm VFR eastbound.
Eastbound and the east ramp just south of runway 25.
Comanche 9016 Whiskey Alpha, roger, runway 26 right, taxi via Kilo.
Okay, 25 right via Kilo, 916 Whiskey Alpha. Long Beach Tower, November 916 Whiskey Alpha, holding short of 25 right Kilo, ready for departure VFR east.
Around 16 Whiskey Alpha, Long Beach Tower, runway 25 right, clear for takeoff, right downwind departure, approved.
Clear for takeoff 25 right downwind departure 6 Whiskey Alpha.
Good day, Palm Springs. Ground scanning Hotel Tango. East Ramp, India. Close traffic. 31 right.
Papa Hotel Tango to Mike, Palm Springs ground, say again aircraft type.
4A Cessna Sky.
Skylane Tango to Mike, thank you, runway 31 right, taxi via Echo and Bravo.
Echo and Bravo. 31 right. Papa Hotel Tango.
We're 791 Juliet, towards ground left. Good.
Okay, Sky 791 Juliet. We see there's no clearance delivery with this field, so would we get our departure instructions with tower or with ground?
Always go with the lowest, so we'll start with ground. Just say your intentions.
Okay, Sky 791 Juliet. Type Cessna 172 on the south angles with the numbers requesting VFR advisories to
Number 791 Juliet, roger, departure frequency 134.9er, squawk 2061.
1249 2061.
Got 991 Juliet, read back is correct, are you ready to taxi now?
In a couple of minutes, just go down to the side. Sky 791 Juliet, south angles 915.
Sky 791 Juliet, roger, runway 29 right, taxi via hotel, correction, taxi via Alpha in Juliet.
29 right taxi by Alpha and Juliet, Sky 791. Palm Springs Tower, Skyline Papa Hotel Tango. Mike is holding short runway 31 right, Bravo, and ready for departure, close traffic. Hello everyone, it's time for the I-11 rating, the final rating. My gosh, of the PilotEdge curriculum. I've been looking forward to this day, to this evening, to be precise, here in the Netherlands. yeah, this flight, hopefully, if I pass, will complete my instrument rating, training program. And thereby actually my entire program. I set out to fly on PilotEdge and build this cockpit and also to stream as part of just becoming an instrument-rated pilot ultimately. And now that I come very, very close to completing my program, passing for the I-11, that kind of like finishes my uncertified pilot program. Well, I'm pretty certain that I will continue flying, obviously, as a sim pilot and will start developing my 172. But it is a special feeling today to come this far. 2 years, almost exactly. 2 years ago, I started with my very first flight on PilotEdge, not even the Cat 1 rating. There were no Cat ratings at that time. There were V ratings. Completed the first one, I think. But my first stream, still on YouTube, if you haven't seen those first... hey, Scotty, good to see you. Jamlin, good to see you as well. Can't stay for long, but it will stay as long as possible. Let's go. Wonderful. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your encouragement, guys. Means a lot. But yeah, 2 years ago, that's when I started my very first stream, and I was sitting in a 182 of the A2A simulations at Oceano Airport, and I was just staring at the cockpit, staring at the instruments, like, okay, what am I looking at and how do I start up this baby? That was the first stream. I think I didn't even taxi back then. I'm not quite sure. So I really started from scratch, and now 2 years later, I learned so much from you guys, also through the chat, but also reading and seeing videos on YouTube by PilotEdge. Now, finally, I've even passed for all of my CAT ratings, but now also hopefully all of my IFR ratings, my I ratings on PilotEdge. Pretty exciting. All right, but I still need to focus. I'm not there yet. We're currently at Corona. The flight is going to be this one. Not a long flight, so that's good. Flying from Corona, a non-towered field. So again, a non-towered IFR departure. We're going to go to the Paradise VOR. We're going to fly Victor 442. And as you can see on the MEA, 9,000. We could also fly 8,000, but I do like to be sure to receive my Vortex, or at least one Vortex here, the Paradise Vortex. So I filed for 9,000. We're going to go to Aples over there, and there is Victorville, and that's going to be our destination airport. I think I've never flown to Victorville, I believe, at least on stream. I think no, I never flown to Victorville, so that's exciting. I believe it's an airport where there are a lot of. Is that the airport with the airplane graveyard? I'm not quite sure. We're looking forward to see that scenery once we get there. And Aples. Is, as you can see, not a initial approach fix. A usual initial approach fix as a vortex. Usually you fly, or you aim to fly towards a vortex that is part of many instrument approaches for your destination airport. In this case, Aples is a initial approach fix. Let me show you. This is the approach that we're going to fly. A DME arc. Very exciting. Now, we've already practiced flying DME arcs many streams ago, so that's good, but that was a long time ago. So today I need to demonstrate that that skill, that knowledge has not left me. So what's the idea? We come into Aples, and yeah, what's the DME arc? Well, we need to fly this arc at a constant 12.2 DME nautical mile away from the Victorville vortex. We come in at Aples, and while actually we come in at 9,000 from our en route bit of our flight. So once we hit Aples and we start our very shallow DME arc turn here to the left, we also need to descend down to 6,600, or what we could say at 9,000. These are minimum en route altitudes, but because we like to go down, excuse me, we are. So the 6,600, then Blight. Then we can further step down to 5,200, and then finally, once we hit this radial, the last radial here, we can catch our final course here into runway 17, of Victorville. Now, as part of the I rating, Gemlin, Victorville don't think it's a great car from memory, but a major logistic hub, so lots of big fried tubular. Ah, Roger. Well, I'm curious, nonetheless. We'll have to see. One of you, Pilot, good to see you. Things is, say, watch all your videos till I6. This is my first live stream. I'm currently finishing my cockpit and we'll start a similar journey after. That's great to hear, Thing. Welcome. Welcome. Yeah, that's one of the biggest compliments that I can receive, actually, inspiring others to become serious sim pilots as well. Even making cockpits, that's great to hear. Welcome. Okay, so this is the instrument approach, but as part of the I rating, it's not just about arriving at Victorville and call it a day. No, we need to go mist once more. This time we're not going to divert to an alternate airport like we did in the previous stream. If you haven't seen the I-10 rating, you should. That was tense. Hand fly. I was hand flying, no autopilot, no GPS at night in IMC, and the I-10 is quite tough as an instrument rating. So I'm really, really proud still, actually, that I successfully passed that I-10 right away. Hopefully, I will pass for the I-11 today too. Yeah, and I've also mentioned in the previous stream, by the way, that I was planning to fly this at night in IMC in the same conditions, but then I learned that as part of this I-11 rating that I was about to tell you, once we go mist and we divert, or we execute the mist approach procedure, once we are clear of the delta of Victorville, we are instructed to cancel our IFR in the air and then return to the field VFR. So a basic VFR entry. Now for VFR I'd like to have, well, VMC obviously, or marginal VMC. So I thought, well, in that case, let's just fly with real weather. I've demonstrated my skill in the previous flight, I think, and also in previous streams. So let's just still focus, but also enjoy the nice scenery. If you look outside here, it's gorgeous. This is Corona Airport. We are parked over there, as you can see. So I think, looking at the winds, we should actually, well, runway 7 actually is favorable. These winds are calm, so calmish. So it shouldn't be that much of a problem. We need to go that direction. There's Paradise somewhere, the Paradise foredeck, and yeah, and then we move on to the north. Anyways, yeah, the missed approach. But yeah, only a semi-missed approach, as you can tell, because as soon as we are clear from the delta, we're going to return VFR, and that completes the entire I-11 rating. So primarily, it's flying the ARC. So that's going to be the main challenge. And also, what's interesting is that as we depart here from Corona, here we are. IFR, we also have to our disposal a departure procedure, an obstacle departure procedure, and we are not. Are we instructed to fly this one as part of the I-11? I think we are. Usually, though, you can choose to fly it unless the weather is too bad, and you're a commercial pilot. I think you are also mandatory. Obliged to fly according to the ODP. In any case, you don't like to hit the terrain at all, so always fly in ODP, practically speaking. So we are going to fly in ODP. Now, this is an interesting one. Independent of runway 7 or runway 25, we need to get up. Climbing a left turn from runway 7 to runway 25, climbing a right turn. All aircraft continue climb direct to Paradise Vortex. Okay, so we go direct to Paradise Vortex. And then there are some specific instructions here depending on what your next direction of flight will be from Paradise. Now, in our case, we are going to go up north. If you look at the map here. So here is Paradise. So we will be flying 012 in that direction. So back to the charts. That means that we are dealing with no, not that one. this piece of the information. So you can see here the radial 281 clockwise to radial 090. If you are planning to go that direction from Paradise, then you need to be at or above 6,700 until you can continue your flight plan. So if we are not at 6,700 at that point, which we most likely are not with our 172, we actually need to fly a hold. All others continue climb in the Paradise Vortex holding pattern, and the pattern is hold northeast, right turns 210 inbound. So as part of this departure, we're going to fly this obstacle departure procedure, and we're going to fly to Paradise, and it's most likely we're not going to hit 6,700 right off the bat, so we need to make holding turns and climb up to 6,700, and then once we reach that altitude, we can continue our flight plan. Now, I've also put into the remarks of my flight plan that we were flying the ODP. I think it's not necessary to do that, but yeah, just a heads up for ADC, and I will mention also as part of the once we departed and we are airborne, I will also mention that we are on the ODP because it might not be that obvious that we are, especially because we're doing holding patterns there. Yeah, it makes sense to let ADC know what we're up to. But since I also put it as part of my flight plan, then if we get a S-filed clearance, IFR clearance, once we grab our clearance here on the ground from departure, that means that that the ATC already knows what we're up to. So in any case, it's just about raising awareness that we will be in the hold, most likely, to get up to our cruising altitude of 9,000 feet. So that's the idea. So we got a nice ODP and a very interesting instrument approach with a DME arc into Victorville. That's the flight, and we got very good VMC flyable weather here, so it's going to be a blast. I hope. We'll have to see. Let's put some music on. Okay. Now, one thing to note here, 210 inbound, right turns, so let's visualize that. Unfortunately, I cannot draw my holding patterns on the map, but 210 inbound means that it's an outbound of 030, and then right turns. So if you look at this map, you can tell that we are actually holding on Victor 8, or partly Victor 8. Which is not a big deal, but well, then we know. So that means that once we reach Paradise, I'm gonna fly the outbound 030 radial for 1 minute, then do a parallel entry to the left here, a left turn, to well, go back to Paradise on the 210 heading, and then we're gonna make right turns and, well, continue our climb upwards to 9,000. So that's the idea. Okay, I think that completes our briefing. Shift 9. There we are, our 172. Yeah. Looks good. Always nice to see some parked airplanes here. Also saw some drone traffic already. Wow. Why is my seatbelt this tight? Oh, I can see. Been messing around with my chair here. Don't want to squeeze myself too much. Yep. Alrighty. So seatbelts are secure. We're already connected to PilotEdge. That's good. Parking brakes are not set. They are right now. Fire extinguisher life is blah blah blah. Doors closed. Windows closed. ELT set to auto. Flap lever is up, and our flaps are up. My mixture is working. Throttle is working. Trims are set. Fuel tank set to both. Cutoff is in. Alternate is in. Avionics are off. All lights are off except for the beacon. Master switch is off, and our switch is off and is also active. Very good. My radio panels are also off, and that's fine with me. Let's put the batteries on. What is our fuel? Well, I like to have a bit more. Very good. We can hear the electrical gyros pull up. That's also good. Avionics on. Transponder is off and VFR. That's good. Flaps down. Let's see if they go down. And go down in sync. They do. Very good. I'm not going to do the walk around. ADF on. Radio panels on. Good. Thanks for the follow, Michi. Thanks. Welcome aboard. Appreciate the follow. Now that I see your copy again, any chance you can get MiniWebs to release that mod with a DMA to the public? Don't think it is available yet. It's cool that way. Yeah, I agree. And I thought that MiniWebs already published it for free. If not, I will poke him. Or jump on to our Discord, the Uncertified Pilot Discord. You can ask him yourself if you like. I think it's really, really helpful, especially for IFR flying, that you have a DME as well. Because without this device, you don't have any DME reading. You can still obviously fly with the GPS, ILSs, but I like that practice. Okay, database is kind of current-ish. We got good deflections, that good, and satellite reception as well. Alrighty, and at Corona. Perfect. We're not going to set frequencies just yet. Come on, yeah, everything looks good. Nav mode is good as well. Annunciator messages look good. What is the airport elevation? We're talking about 533. It doesn't look good. Corona, yeah. 533. Something like this. Thanks for the follow, Big Jeff. Thank you. Appreciate it. Welcome aboard. 533. Yes, my heading indicator is also, let me see, we're reading 80, 78. 78. Well, it kind of looks good. That's set. Fuel quantity and everything is good. No circuit breakers. Alrighty. Well, we've got circuit breakers, but they're not popped out. Perfect. So, avionics off. Mixture, or my throttle just a bit in. Fuel pump on. 1, 2, 3. Positive fuel flow. That's good. Parking brakes are still on. No one is walking around, so clear prop. There we go. 1200. Oil pressure is already in the green. That's good. Alternator on. That removes the extinguishes the default annunciation. Let's lean for ground. See a rise in the RPM. There it goes. And there it dips. So somewhere around here. Very good. And back to 1000 to warm up the engine. Very good. Then avionics on again. And now we can set some frequencies. First off, mode C. So we're visible. Very good. What frequencies do we need? Thanks for the host thing. Appreciate it. Well, obviously, Paradise. 112.2. Waiting for my GPS here to come in. Very good. 112.2. We set it. I do have a reading. Let's make sure that it is Paradise. Looks good. Yep. Alright, that's identified. Good. And yeah, so as part of the ODP, we're just going to fly direct to. So that's going to be pretty much a easterly direction, if I'm right. Yeah. Well, in any case, we can turn this thing around once we are airborne. We need to go straight in. That's good. And then we're going to fly outbound radial. And we're going to go to Aples. Yeah, and the other vortex is Victorville. 109.05. 109.005. Good. I said that in the standby of the nav1. I need DME on both. For both, so that's why. Yeah, so I think that's good. Yeah, basic. Frequencies. We got the CTAF, obviously. 122.7. That's set, and I need to have the departure. Took departure 135.4. Or is there also clearance? Okay, if I'm here on ForeFlight, I don't only see a telephone number. Let's go to the airport facility directory. Corona. I guess nothing is mentioned here. Usually a frequency is mentioned, but no, in this case, I'll continue next page perhaps. Communications. Yeah, 135.4. Clearance early for local SoCal approach. Yeah, so again 135.4. Always good to check. 135.4. Okay, in the active. So we should be able to hear some PilotEdge chatter. ADIS. I'm also interested in ADIS, obviously. And I guess we've got ASOS or something like that. Or not. 132.17.
Mooney 42 Papa, contact Santa Barbara approach 120.55. Good morning.
Bit loud. 132.175.
Corona Muni weather. Wind 030 at 5. Visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 9,540. Temperature 13. Dew point -4. Altimeter 2992.
22442 Papa, Santa Barbara approach. Yeah, your voice is really quiet now in comparison to your engine noise. Santa Barbara altimeter 3004. Report when you have the weather. Expect runway 25.
Okay, 902. We don't have ADIS information, obviously. And for Victorville, we're talking 135.47. So let's put it into the standby as well. 135.47. And we already put that into the active, so we're ready to go. Good to hear Marcus's voice, by the way. I think he's going to sign off in just 5 minutes. Engine is already warm. Alrighty, so what are we talking about? We're talking about Victorville. And yeah, no SIDS. So it's going to be basic.
Mooney 42 Papa, I'm sorry, you said Delta?
Yes, sir.
Roger, thanks.
Okay, Corona at the ground. IFR to Victorville for the I-11 rating. SoCal approach, good day, Skyhawk Papa Hotel Tango Mike is on the ground at Corona. I'd like to pick up our IFR to Victorville as part of the I-11 rating, please.
Sky Papa Hotel Tango Eddie Mike SoCal departure. Good morning, clear to the Victorville Airport as filed. Climb and maintain 4,000, expect 9,000. Within 5 minutes of departure. SoCal departure frequency 135.4, squawk 4745, hold the 4 release.
Papa Tango Mike is clear to the Victorville Airport as filed. Climb to 4, expect 9 after 5, 135.4 for departure and squawk 4745.
Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, your readback is correct. Hold for release. Call back on this frequency short of the runway first in line for departure.
We'll hold for release and let you know once we are first for departure, Papa Tango Mike. Okay, 4745. That's set in the transponder. That's good. As filed, so yeah, it's going to be quite basic. 4,000 initially, and then 135.4. That's good. What's also good is that we can let ADC know once we are ready for departure. You could also have a void time. So they say, well, I've reserved the airport for you, 1 in, 1 out, IFR flight for 10 minutes or 20 minutes. And then we need to be out of here until our clearance might be void. In this case, we can just taxi to the threshold line here at the runway and see if there's no other VFR traffic. Again, that's the big flag when you're flying IFR from a non-towered field. So once we are first and we see no drones and we say, well, here we go, then we can initially immediately take off. That's the idea. Okay, very good. We are ready to go. I am favoring runway 25 because of the direction that we need to fly to. Or the other way around, actually. Runway 17, 07. So that's one that I can set. Source workshop. AC 07. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do. Parking brakes released. Brake test works. No other traffic here. That's good. It's going to be a quick taxi. Step indicator, turn indicator works. Heading indicator works as well. This is the one that I'd like to change. Where do we need to go? Am I going the wrong direction? I think I am. Alright, let's turn around. Yep, there's the flag. Okay, well, we explored this nice ramp. Very cute airport. Only flown here a couple of times, I guess. Alright, so the ODP, that's the idea. So I'm going to check the departure procedure just before we take off. It's going to be a left turn, I guess. Direct to Paradise, climb to 4,000 initially. And then once we hit Paradise, we go up to 9er in holds. And then we proceed. That's the idea. What a nice airport. We got clouds, so broken clouds at 9,500. The ASOS said. So we're going to fly just below that cloud deck at 9,000. Hey Bill, this is Corona Airport, Untowered Airfield. It's very, yeah, it's a cute, nice airport. No other traffic on the radio. Only drones then, I guess. And I know those are flying here, so we need to be very wary. I drove there 2 weeks ago. That's awesome, Bill. Is it the full thing or did you download? I downloaded it, Gemlin. There's so much nice free stuff there on the explain.org website. Alright, coming up to the threshold. Alright, 7. Alrighty. There we go. Engine is warm enough. Make sure full in. 1800s. There we go. Everything is stable, no shaded messages. Vacuum is in the green. Very good. Left mag. 125-ish. Looks good. Back to both. Similar. Back to both. And we go idle. Oil pressure is still in the green. No initiator messages. Perfect. Back to 1,000. To the right, that one goes down. That one goes up. Down. Up. Up. Down. Trim wheel works. My rudders work. Very good. Let's set some parking brakes here still. Flaps. Alright, just one more check here. Charts. Let me left turn. Yeah, 7. That makes sense. Left turn, and then we go to Paradise, and we're gonna fly 4,000 initially. Thanks for the follow, Raphael. Thanks, appreciate it. 4,000 initially. 135.4 is still set. Yeah, so that makes sense. 4745 is in the transponder. We're still on the CTAF, so we can switch to SoCal and listen in.
Santa Barbara Tower, money 42 Papa. I have the airport in sight. 42 Papa, clear visual approach.
And there's Joe.
25, contact Santa Barbara Tower 119.7. Clear visual approach, runway 25, 119.7, moving 42 Papa.
Yeah, it's not going to be that difficult, I guess. Straight in, and then once we hit Paradise, we're going to fly 030 for a minute, so let's also set that. 030, then left turn parallel, and then we're going to enter the hold again. We switch over the OBS and we go up to 9,000. And once we are established on the Victor 442, then we can reorient ourselves. Okay, good. Hey Linux, good to see ya. Hey taxi.
22442
Thanks for being here, guys.
When you're under radar service and switch to a tower, you don't have to report your position. We are obviously going to have it. Wind calm, make straight in runway 25, clear to land. Switch off the light contact, Los Angeles Center 135.5.
Second, the frequency for triple mic.
3550.
3550, 86 triple mic.
SoCal approach, Sky Papa Hotel Tango Mike is holding short here at runway 7 at the ground at Corona, ready for departure.
PSJ, I'm released for departure, clearance void if not off in 3 minutes. Not off in 3 minutes, advised intention is frequency not later than 6 minutes. Change of advised frequency approved.
We'll change frequencies and talk to you soon, Papa Hotel Mike. Okay, 3 minutes to take off, ready to go. And then we switch over to CDAF. Make very, very sure that I should have actually checked before I took off, so that's not proper. Because if there's any other traffic here, we cannot clear the airport in 3 minutes. Luckily we are. And Corona traffic, Sky Papa Hotel Tango Indy Mike is departing runway 7 for a left crosswind departure. Corona. There we go. Right, airspeed is alive, engine is in the green. Looking good. Dancing on those pedals, 60. Rotates. Put that nose down. There we go, guys. I-11. Feet. See some traffic there in the distance, so make that left turn right away. Flaps up. Nose up. Corona traffic, Sky Papa Hotel Tango Mike is making that left turn to the northeast last call. Corona. Switch. Alright, there's the radial. I'm gonna keep on my left turn.
So it's 130, reback, correct? 5002 Tango, say again, it was blocked.
Well, we're very close to Paradise, VMR.
5002 Tango with Victor, IFR 2 Santa Barbara, picking up clearance.
Don't want to step into that conversation yet.
500 Tango, what's your location?
Santa Maria, 02 Tango.
And I was cleared as filed.
If you're at the Santa Maria airport, you should be with a local frequency there, like Santa Maria ground.
So that means that I can already fly the ODP. Not that I need clearance to do that, but...
We'll call Tower 5002 Tango, thanks.
And Sokol approach, Kite Hotel Tango, and Mike is climbing through 1,800 for the ODP.
PHJ, I'm Sokol approach right down.
And there's the flash for Hotel Tango, Mike.
Hotel Tango, any Mike radar contact 1.5 miles southwest, Paradise VR, climbing 9,000.
Climbing 9,000, that position checks for Hotel Tango, Mike. Alright, 9,000, that's good. .4 on the DME. Flying straight to Paradise, almost there. Speed is still goodish, flaps are up, landing lights was to keep those on. Now the needle gets sensitive here. I'm gonna fly 030 for 1 minute. Can also put this thing to 03. Well, let's not cross it. Let's go. 03. And start the clock. There's the from, so we passed it. 30 seconds there.
5002 Tango, Santa Barbara, correction, Santa Maria ground. Looks like you didn't file a flight plan. What's your
I'd like to see that needle come in. So I'm just going to go a little bit more to the east here.
No worries, I can do it here. It's just going to Santa Barbara. It's a short trip here.
There it is.
Santa Barbara Airport on departure, flight heading 100.
Now we're at 1 minute.
Radar vectors Gaviota, direct, maintain 5,000.
Yeah, I already passed it. So let's make it a turner. It'll be a short turn then. We'll have to see. Keep the climb going to 9,000. Standard rate turn. Watch that speed. Two.
So that's
0.
Back, correct? 142 Papa, where you parking? Airport 2 Papa, taxi Atlantic via Alpha Bravo, cross runway 15 right at Alpha, cross runway 15 left at Alpha.
Something like this. And I need to climb. Keep climbing, Tim. Alright. So now we're trying to catch that 210 radial inbounds while we keep the climb going. It's going to be close. And again, my angle is quite steep. Make the same mistake as the I-10. That when I don't come in stable into the hold with the entry, I mess myself up. So I think, yeah, there it comes. Keep that climb going. Let's increase that climb, or that turn here. And now make it standards. Yeah, now we passed it again. So that's a bit sloppy. We can also lean our mixture, by the way. we go. 5,000. 4 to go.
That was 130, gentlemen, ground position off, approved.
And there we are. And 1 minute. Okay. Looks good on the compass and the heading indicator. No significant gyro drift just yet. Do like to increase my speed just a tiny bit more. Rental power. Yeah, Linux. Alright, 30 seconds. Landing lights. Yeah, can be turned off. I'm flying inbound here, not really that precise with my headings. And again, that's something that I should work on. There's 1 minute. Let's make that turn. Standard rate turn. Now at 6,700, I'm above that altitude restriction, you could say, of the ODP. So then I can actually proceed my course, my navigation to Aples. I think I don't need to be at 9,000 until I can continue. I think. Okay, cross there. This is an effect of me being not that precise with my headings. One big karma, there we go. Keep that climb going, Tim. Come on. That's good. Keep the climb going. Not too much. Further lean my mixture. Watch that speed. There goes the needle again. There's the flip. Standard rate turn to the right. Yeah, so this is better. So something that I can still practice on, I guess, in the future streams. So now we passed 6,700. So in a way we can continue our flight, but I guess our airway 442 has a minimum en route altitude of 9,000 and the Mocha is 8,000. So I guess I'm just going to continue up climbing to 9er and then continue my flight to Aples. All right. There we go. Set the clock. Let's see if we can be a bit more precise here with our headings. Seconds on the clock. All right. Yeah. Keep a close watch on that speed. It's a bit too slow for my taste. I mean, we're getting higher, so the air gets thinner, obviously. We do need lift.
130, runway 20 right, taxi via Alpha Lima, cross runway 20 left at Lima.
Alright. Looks good.
Roger 02 Tango, runway 30, taxi via Hotel Bravo 7.
Already passed it. I guess it all has to do with the wind correction and stuff that I didn't do. Okay, that's a bit too aggressive, Tim. Come on. This is sloppy. I mean, still, we're very close to the Vortec, so I shouldn't be that extreme with my headings. There you go. All right, 1,000 feet to go. Interesting. Okay, we're in the freezing levels now. We can put on our pitot heats just in case. There's a flip. All right. Seems like the final round. With our 172 getting up to 9,000. Watch that speed. There we go. 1,000 years later, yeah, guys. All right, still in that climb. We're close to the cloud deck as we expected. All right. Zero, 1, 2. 9,000. 0, 1, 2. All right. I think we shouldn't. We don't have to report that we're out of the hold. We're just as filed, so. There comes the needle. 0, 1, 2.
Say again.
Good. Keep that nose down. Obviously, we're trimmed up, so.
South 130, John Tower, runway 20, right, clip take off.
Okay, let's be a bit more precise here.
What variable pilot?
If I can. Okay, looks good. Good sound on the engine. There's the speed. Let's go to 2,400. Further nose down trim. Let's stabilize this baby. Good. Alrighty. Now we're at 9,000. I think we can further lean our engine here. That's too much. So this is okay-ish. Still not totally stable. Okay. Very good. So, 0, 1 and a bit. Looks good on the heading indicator. My altitude is still not there. Perhaps I need a little bit more power. Still sinking a bit, unexpectedly. Yes, so 9,000. Freezing outside, we got pitot heat on. Fuel quantity is good, EGT is goodish. Fuel flow temps, pressure, vacuum, amps, circuit breakers, lights. Landing lights are off. We are leaned. What are we doing? We're flying a radial outbound from Paradise to Aples. Canary, listen to COM. COM 2 of Victorville. No comms yet. Can someone look up on the I-11 rating page on PilotEdge? There's a remark, I think, at the bottom of the page telling pilots about the fact that the Victorville VOR does not have the same frequency in X-plane as it has on the chart. But I don't know what the frequency is of that X-plane is using. So if someone can look that up and put it in chat, that would be much appreciated. Alright, charts.
That was 130, contact departure.
VOR DME runway 13.
Runway 30, take off. Take off, Mike, contact SoCal approach, 127.4.
SoCal approach, GBM 862 Alpha Mike, 9,000.
GBM 862 Alpha Mike, SoCal approach, fly heading 070, maintain 5,000, back to John Wayne Airport.
Left heading 070 down to 5,000.
Alright, we're 8 miles away from Paradise. 42, then we're at Aples, so we've got still some way to go. So that's good, we got time. Victorville is 135.47, that's in the active COM2, so I'm waiting for that to come in.
That was 130, SoCal departure, radar contact, flighting 2, correction, disregard the flight heading. Climb, maintain 8,000.
You can verify that on the X-plane map though, thanks campers. 19.4, thanks taxi. Okay, so 109.05 is on the map. But now in an F2, I hear readouts. Gonna have another check here. Yeah, sounds good. So I think that the original nav set is good. 05, yeah, 05 is correct. Nice. Yeah, still at 10. So yeah, what we're prepping actually is to request our VOR DME runway 17 approach into Victorville with a mist. We still got some way to go. And we don't have the weather just yet. 135.47. Yeah, it's set. COM2 is on. Yeah. Alright. Let's wait and see then. Beautiful scenery. It is gorgeous. X-plane with photoreal. Man. Nice haze. This is awesome. I-11 guys, I hope I will succeed. As it should, exactly.
That was 130, contact departure 127.4.
Departure 127, Southwest 130.
Yeah, perhaps so, taxi. Just the update of X-plane. Well, it's good to see that it's in sync again.
SoCal departure South 130 with TU 8,000.
That was 130, SoCal departure, climb via SID.
Climb via SID, Southwest 130.
Alright, 900,000 on our speed, so we're making 105-ish, 110. True airspeed, that's as filed, that's good.
My contact, SoCal approach 128.1.
28.1, true up on Mike.
Alrighty, 010, still on the heading indicator, that's good. Speed is good, temps are good. Fuel quantity is good, EGT is good, fuel flow is good, temps, pressure, vacuum, amps, circuit breakers are good. Everything is set. What are we doing?
Do you have approach request?
Well, we are flying
Yeah, would like vector for the LS.
the outbound radial
Expect that.
to 42 nautical miles. 42 nautical miles to Aples. And then we're going to switch over to the Victorville Vortec, which we already said that the standby of NAV1. Then we need to fiddle around with the OBS and to fly our DME arc. Exciting. Hopefully that will work out. COM2 and the active is the ATIS of Victorville, but no reading just yet. So I guess as soon as we cross over these mountains in the distance, we might be switched over, handed over to Joshua approach. And ideally, then I would have received already the weather, so I can inform the Joshua approach controller, like, hey, we already got that weather. This is the approach that we like to do. And obviously, as you look at the terrain, it makes sense now why we need to fly at 9,000 or at least 8,000 to stay clear of the terrain. We got mountains to overfly. Alrighty. So Aples, 089er on the radial. We just look at our DME, make subtle turns, we descend to 6,600.
Southwest 130, contact Los Angeles Center 133.2. Los Angeles Center 133.2, Southwest 130. Air traffic Mike flighting 030.
030,
A bit
true up
more
Mike.
up.
Cessna 02 Tango, contact departure.
Just a bit more up.
Southwest 130, Los Angeles Center, climb maintain follow 230. Correction, climb maintain follow 290.
Right, it's just a bit more trim up there. Okay, so far so good. So when will you start the arc? I mean, at what do you mean indication? 42.
Scout 5002 Tango, Santa Barbara departure, radar contact clear, direct Gaviota, climb maintain 5000.
And
Direct Gaviota, climb and maintain 5,000, Skyhawk 50.
because I don't have DME on my NAV2, I guess I need to just switch over the NAV1 from the active to the standby to have an idea. And as soon as I hit that 089er radial on Victorville, then I know that I can start my descent and do the arcy stuff. Why am I keep descending when I'm trimmed? Oh, no problem, taxi, no problem. Alright, so basic outbound radial again. So we're crossing lots of interesting terrain here. And that's also fun of kind of reviewing all of the flights that I have done in the past, also including the CAT ratings, the VFR flights. In ZLA here, you become so familiar with the terrain and all of the airports. And I know that when I started out at Oceano, I had no idea of the names of the other airports, let alone the terrain. So it's a nice feeling to know that this has become my sim home. Online sim pilot home here. My backyard, so to speak. That's really, really cool. Now perhaps once we cross the mountains here we might get a ATIS reading. .475. 135.475. Yeah. That is correct. 200 to anticipate. Ah, taxi. Yeah, that's also one way to do it. I'd like to hear some ATIS information. Uh, 015, still in sync with our heading indicator. Altimeter is still the same. Attitude, speed is good. Temps are good, outside air temps are good. Fuel quantity, EGT, fuel flow temps, oil temps, pressure, vacuum, ammeter is good. No unassociated messages, circuit breakers, lights, everything is good. And what are we doing? Flying the outbound radial. 012 to Aples at 42 nautical miles, so we got 23 there. So we're about halfway. Runway 17 is the runway that we're gonna fly. Exactly, taxi. Alright, we get a wind coming right at us, headwind. I could use the GPS obviously for this route, and I could use my autopilot, but as part of the I-11 rating. Let's see if I can all do it by hand. At least the last two ratings, latest two ratings. I-10 and 11.
Go ahead. Skyline 500 to Tango with information echo. Request the RNAV GPS runway 7 8 Foxy transition.
Yeah, come 2 is still on.
500 to Tango, clear direct 8 Foxy cross 8 Foxy.
I would expect to get the ATIS information already from 20 miles out or something, but apparently for Victorville that's not the case. Still right on track. I'd like to see my DME there. Oh. Flying just under the cloud base.
Alpha Mike, maintain 180 knots. Reducing to 180, 2 Alpha Mike. PHIM contact Josh approach 126.1.
126.1, Papa Delta Mike. Switch. Joshua approach, Papa Delta Mike is level 9,000. We're still waiting for weather information from Victorville. I guess we're still out of reach. We'd like to fly the VOR DME approach into runway 17 of Victorville, if that's good.
PHCIM, Joshua approach. The wind at Victorville calm, skies are clear, altimeter 3015, cross Apples at 9,000, cleared VOR DME runway 17 approach.
05 for the altimeter, thanks for that, and we'll cross Aples at 9,000, cleared for the VOR DME approach 17 big Phil.
And the altimeter is 15.
15 for Bob Delta Mike. All right, 15.
2 Alpha Mike, turn right heading 180. Right heading 180, 2 Alpha Mike. 7 Lima Sierra, runway 29, clear to land.
That's a big difference. That was Victorville. I'm not going to change my altimeter setting right now because we're still in that same sector here, obviously. So I'm going to wait until we are actually on the approach at Aples. Then that's the time when I'm going to switch my altimeter setting. Yeah, and apparently we're already cleared for the entire approach, so that's good.
Maintain 3,000 to establish local hours.
Well, there's no one there, I guess.
Roger, maintain 3,000 to establish and the cleared local.
I didn't mention the mist, by the way.
GBM 86 Alpha Mike.
I can do that also once we need to switch over the tower. Once we are aligned and close to the runway. Because going mist is part of the I-11 rating. Woo-ha, cleared already. Exactly, taxi. So far, so good. Joshua approach. I think we're going to stay with Joshua approach. 118.35. I said already in the standby of COM 1. Now the weather was already provided by Joe. That's very kind. Winds were calm, so that's good. And we got the altimeter setting. 33 nautical miles away from Paradise. We're looking for 42. And at moment on, we're going to switch over the nav 1 to Victorville. We're going to fly that damn mighty, almighty DME arc. Exciting. Double check 020. Let me just stay level here. We're now 15. And that seems like 2. So we're already have a little bit of gyro drift. That's corrected. Speed is good to outside. Air temperature is good. Fuel quantity is good. EGT is good. Oil temps are good. Pressure, vacuum, amps, circuit breakers, slides. We don't really need. What are we doing? We're flying still the outbound radial to Aples. And we got a couple of miles to go. We cross Aples at 9,000 and then we can start our descent while we are flying the DME arc. So again, this is the arc that we're going to fly. There's Aples, initial approach fix. And we need to stay 12.2 nautical miles away from Victorville while we go down to 6,600. That is the idea.
John Tower 126.8.
Cirrus, good to see you. Sky Charter next? No, I don't have the expansion subscription on PilotEdge, Cirrus. Or Max. And I don't have the hard drive space to download all of the scenery, so then I need to invest. So I'm going to continue with the 172 aircraft development streams that I was doing. I like to develop my own 172 for X-Plane. So that's up next. Thanks for asking. Thanks for the encouragement. I mean, it will not be Toto-like quality, obviously, man. I hope that he will jump on my streams then and give me some advice on how to make my own 172 Spark. Anyways, yeah. 37 nautical miles. 109.05 in the standby of the nav 1. We made sure that that was the correct frequency because we set it also on the nav 2. Now what we can do obviously is also set it already to 170 just as an additional aid, which is going to be redundant, but that's the OBS setting for the runway 17, our final radial that we need to fly into Victorville.
Charlie Lima, contact departure. Southwest 130, descend via campus.
Slow going 172. And I love it. And again, yeah, it's also a bit of being comfortable or lazy, I guess. Looking at my altitudes and also my headings, I'm wiggling a bit and I'm not, obviously not exactly on 9,000, and I should. Alright, 39 nautical miles. We're already cleared for the approach, the VORDME approach into runway 17 Victorville, which is nice. No weather to pick up, unfortunately, on 135.475. Don't know what's up with that, but thanks, Taxi. Yeah. Flying manually is a challenge, but I think it's much more fun.
Sound like November 345 Delta Lima.
All right,
sure
1 nautical mile to go.
Like blowing in the mic or something. I'm not sure. It was very distorted.
089er. There it is. Just keep flying this heading. Once that needle centers, we know that we are at Aples, kind of. And I could also quickly swap between the nav1 frequencies here, but I can see 13.4 on the nautical mile on the DME. We need to be at 12.2. So there we go. We're at Aples. Let's descend to 6,600. And let's get a bit closer here. Need to fly north-ish. We need to actually increase our also trim a bit here. Speed, don't want to go that fast. Alright, a little bit less than north we should fly. So again, if I want to gain on...
My cross runway 20 left at hotel, taxi parking via Alpha.
I'm going to be a bit more aggressive.
20.8, have a good day.
I want to fly a bit more towards Victorville. That's good. I guess to be a bit more aggressive.
I can at least understand you. Go ahead. Roger this. A little bit. I think now it's just a little distance from the mic. If you could figure out how to get the mic closer, it'll probably help.
Hey, Jim. Yeah, me too. I'm also looking forward to that. Right, still gaining, but I'd like to be a bit more closer to the. We need to be at 12.2.
Fort Charlie Lima fighting 130, contact departure. By the way, you should have been at, well, disregard.
So 350-ish, we're flying much deeper into Victorville. You can see we're gaining on the DME. Looking for 6,600. And 011 on the OBS until we can go further down. That's Bythe.
So for the Pacific Island, Fort Charlie with 5,000. And
12.9.
SoCal approach. Good morning.
See if we can go a little bit more steep here. .600 is coming up. 12.7, looking good. 340 should be our DME arc heading, so I'm flying a bit more steep because I like to gain. Can also put in our landing lights, and by the way, let's also set in our 0.15, he said, altimeter setting, which does make a difference, as you can see in our altitude, 6,700, 600, I mean. 12.4. All right, 6,600.
Southwest 130, contact Los Angeles Center 134.65.
12.2. Let's up that baby. 330 we should fly. So something like this. Let's trim. And obviously we should very gentle turn here. 12.2, so we corrected for that. 6,600, that's good. Our compass is still in sync with our heading indicator. That's good.
That's good enough. Do you have a request?
All right. And for our next turn, you can see we need to hit the 011, the 11 rating, or heading, radial. Bit more power here, please. All right, we need to fly less than 3.3.
Alpha, Lima Santa Maria ground, runway 30, taxi via Alpha.
So, going strong. Oops. Yeah, there you go. We descended. It's something that I still should remind myself of, which is not good. I lean the mixture, which is good, but I don't enrich it once I descend, and so I actually choke my engine. When I'm descending, which is not good. So. Alright, and tower was 118.35, which is set. CTEV, yeah, it's not CTEV, it's just tower.
213 Las Vegas clearance, clear San Francisco Airport, Shed 1 departure, Cano transition, as filed. Climb via SID, squawk 4670.
Flying a bit away. Sorry, I'm a bit sloppy, I guess. We should fly 3-1 and a bit, and I'm already flying too shallow.
4670, 4670, rest of readback, correct?
Okay. It's not too much.
Tango contact Santa Barbara Tower, 119.7, see ya.
But it's good to know what we're doing.
Skyhawk 500 Tango.
.310, so we should fly a bit less than 310. Looking for 011, still got a way to go.
002 Tango, Santa Barbara Tower, runway 7-foot line. Airport Charlie Lima, contact SoCal approach 128.1.
128.1, that's all Charlie Lima.
Yeah, there's still 0.2 again.
Southwest 130 Los Angeles Center, the Las Vegas altimeter 3015.
We're not in freezing anymore, so let's turn off our pitot heats. I mean, within 10 degrees, you could still set it actually, but you don't see any visual moist.
Sliding 070 and climb maintain 7,000.
270, let's put 7,000 for Charlie Lima.
7,600, Tim. I'm a bit more precise with the altitudes right now, so that's good. 12.2. Man, this is going so slow. But hey, started with a 172, we will end with a 172. right on the money. Still in sync. Compass and heading indicator. Alright, 020 on the radial. We're looking for 11, so we're almost there. And then we can descend to 5,200s. For 3.6. For the 3.6 radial. Okay, 290, so I could already exceed. We're almost there. I guess we are, just one tad. There we go. So now we go down.
345 Delta Lima Center, retire
5,200.
30 takeoff.
And we're looking for 360.
Right crosswind departure.
Which is already quite close. Yeah, 5,200s. We're almost there at 360, and then we can capture our 170 radial. Going down, Tim. You need to go down. We're losing one. Almost there. Let's go a bit more towards Victorville. 5,200s. There's 360. So that means that we can now try and capture the 170 localizer.
4 Charlie, let me clear right Paradise.
So let's do that and descend.
Clear Paradise, 4 Charlie.
5,200s. The needle already comes in.
Air 4 Charlie Lima, quick amendment to your routing.
Alright.
To Paradise.
Coming in on that needle.
Via Victor 442.
Can already further descend down 5,200s
Then asphalt.
to 4,300s.
Paradise 442 apples, Hector, then asphalt.
There's the needle.
Southwest 130, contact Las Vegas approach 125.9.
Alright. There we are, 170. And going down. 170-ish. NAV2 is in sync, obviously. 4,300 for 6.1 DME. So yeah, we're going down steep, but it's okay. And again, at the tower we're going mist. Once we switch over to tower, 118.35 is already set. And then we're going to go mist, which is going to be, yeah, 3,500, and then a right turn to 300 degrees. Let's continue down, Tim. 4,300. Yeah.
There's over 2 Tango taxi straight ahead of parking. Enjoy your day.
$4,300.
Contact Victorville Tower 119.85. See it.
Over the tower. I think tower is 118.35, isn't it?
That's the one. 118.35, that's correct.
I will switch over, thanks, Papa Delta Mike. Just to make sure. Okay, power a bit.
Temporary tower.
Landing lights are on. Mixture, well, yeah. Let's pull mixture full in. Victor Field Tower, Skyrock Papa Delta Tango Mike on the VOR, DB approach into 17. Like to do a low approach and then execute the mist.
Papa Hotel Tango Mike, Victor Field Tower, runway 17, clear to land, wind calm, and report mist.
Clear to land 17, we'd like to do the low approach instead, and then we will report mist.
Yeah, PHA, technically low approach is a VFR maneuver, so like when you're on the go, you canceled your IFR. IFR aircraft are you can never deny instrument approach to IFR aircraft. So I clear your land, you can go mist if you like.
Ah, roger that. Papa Delta Mike. Interesting. Interesting. Always something to learn.
Report going mist.
I will report mist. Papa Delta Mike. Okay. So
213 with Lima. Taxi, please.
Minimums were
So it's
3200.
Expect visual approach, runway 26 left, altimeter 301.
I mean, it was clearly off of my VOR there. Obviously, I already got the runway inside, so 3200.
213 Las Vegas ground, runway 26 right, taxi via Gulf, Charlie Bravo.
Golf, Charlie, Bravo, 226 right.
We can set this to 269 already. That's the part of the missed procedure. 269, yes, that's correct. 3,500, and then to 306,000.
345 Delta Lima, Santa Barbara approach.
300s. All right, going down.
5 Delta Lima, squawk 6225, ident.
As soon as we're going to return to Victorville, I'm going to ask for a long landing. Because the ramp is all the way on the other side. All right, let's do the low approach here. Guess we can further go down to 3,200, but who cares? Don't turn too soon on the mist. Thank you, taxi. I guess at the end of the runway, what's the procedure then? Victorville Tower, we're going mist for runway 17, executing the mist approach procedure.
PHAM, thank you. Contact departure 126.1. We'll see you.
Over to 126.1. Thanks, Papa Delta Mike. All right. So what we what do we need to do? Well, 3,500. We're already there. And Joshua approach, Skype Papa Delta Tango Mike. It's only missed for runway 17.
Papa Hotel Tango Mike, Josh. Departure, radar contacts, and intentions.
We'd like to execute the missed approach procedure to the hold, and then we'll advise.
PHAM, Roger, expect further clearance. 1920, time now 1900 and 1.5.
We'll advise. Roger, Papa Delta Mike. All right, 3-0, full power. We're at 3,500. Already set the radial in. All right, there we go. So 300 will give us a nice entry into that radial. 269er on the nav 1, Victorville outbound.
Santa Barbara, pretty much
5 Delta Lima, that's affirmative, radar contact 15 miles northeast Santa Maria Airport.
Now I've got the GPS here to see when we are out of the airspace, because then we're going to cancel IFR and return VFR, which is nice. Now we can exit the airspace by two ways, laterally but also vertically. Now the airspace of Victorville goes up to 5,400, I think. So I think we're going to reach that sooner than the edge of the airspace there. There comes the needle.
TBM, was it 860 Alpha?
Let's be a bit more aggressive there. I mean, we're 172. I mean, that needle comes in so slowly. At least here, not when I'm flying holds. I really need to practice that.
TBM 862 Alpha Mike.
There's the radio.
Departure, correction, John Wayne clear. It's on departure fly heading 175.
Okay, so first establish myself here.
Far out of below 5,000. Departure frequency.
There we go.
128.1 squawk
269.
5466.
Now let's double check. We need to go to 6,000 maps.
5466.
VFR. Victorville, 5,400. Yeah, so let's cancel.
There are 2 Alpha Mike squawk 5466. Rest of reback, correct?
Joshua approach, Kite Hotel Tango. Mike, I'd like to cancel our IFR at this time and with radar services return to Victorville if that's okay.
Papa Hotel Tango, Mike. Roger, IFR cancellation received. Remain this frequency, keep your squawk code, and you just advise when you start your turn back to Victorville.
Right, we'll keep our squawk code and we will turn right away back to Victorville.
PHM, Roger, contact Victorville Tower, 118.35, and squawk VFR, we'll see you.
Over the tower then, and squawk VFR, Papa Mike, thanks for the help. Okay, because we're still in the airspace, obviously.
John Wayne ground, VM 862 Alpha Mike, we're over Atlantic, request taxi with the weather.
TBM 862 Alpha Mike, John Wayne ground, runway 20 right, taxi.
Oh, we're not in the airspace, technically.
Charlie Kilo, and cross runway 20 left at Kilo.
And alerts are still on. Okay.
20 right, Alpha.
There's the
Charlie
field.
Kilo, cross 20 left at Kilo, 862 Alpha Mike.
Victorville Tower, Skype Hotel Tango, and Mike is 5 miles to the west at 6,000 inbound for a full stop, and we have the weather.
Papa Hotel Tango, Mike, Victorville Tower, enter on the 45. For the right downwind, runway 17, report to 45 entry.
We'll enter the 45 right downwind for runway 17, and we'll report on the 45, Papa Hotel Tango, Mike.
And this is for the I-11, correct?
That's correct. Okay. So we need to enter the 45. So I'm a bit at the northeast side, so I'm going to return just a tiny bit here. Alright, still engine, everything looks good. I love the deserts flying here. Alright, 17. It's good enough for me. Oh, sorry guys. Elevation is 28, so 3,800. Okay.
Good evening, Delta 213. Holding short runway 26 right.
Delta 213, Las Vegas Tower, runway 26 right, clear for takeoff. Wind 010 to 4.
Clear for takeoff 26 right, 213.
Southwest 130, turn left heading 280 to 7, maintain 5,000, join the runway 26 left, localizer.
Victorville Tower, Skype Hotel Tango, Mike is only 45, right down with 17.
Southwest 130, turn left, heading 280, so maintain 5,000, join runway 26 left, localizer.
Gonna make that turn already. Close to the runway.
Yeah, PHTIM, say heading.
We're now on a 050 heading 45 degree 17. I'm gonna make that turn. Now making the turn for the right downwind 17. Bit weird. Already quite close to the runway.
PHAM, runway 17, clear to land, and just be advised your math was off there. You did a 55, I think, entry.
Oh, we'll check for that heading. Sorry. Okay, clear for land, clear to land run 7, Papa Delta Jamaica. Okay. I guess I wasn't that strict with the heading there. Let me see.
4 Charlie Lima contact.
There's the runway.
Approach 135.4.
One flap.
213
Guess we can make this.
Switch into 13.
Alright. Going down. Establish ourselves. Stable approach still.
Delta 213, Las Vegas departure, radar contact. 1.
Alright. There we go. We're already in the white band. Let's ask for the long approach.
234 Charlie Lima, SoCal approach. Expect higher in about 10 miles. The Ontario altimeter 3006.
Love track IR here.
Engine runway tower, TBM 862 Alpha Mike, holding short, choose your right at Kilo.
TBM 862 Alpha Mike, runway tower, runway 20 right at Kilo, cliff takeoff.
Drift takeoff, choose your right, Kilo, 2 Alpha Mike.
Victorville Tower, Scarpa Hotel Tango Mike. Could we go for a long approach or long landing here for the Charlie exit at the end of the runway?
PHAM, long landing approved.
Approved, long landing, Papa Delta Mike, thanks. I mean, that saves us some taxi time. And the ramp is all the way over there. And look at all of those aircraft. You already spotted those before. But now I got more time to enjoy those. Man. All right, I'm curious to see whether I've passed for the I-11. I think I did well. The only remark that I got from Joe was at 45-ish kind of entry. Well, that was because I was quite close to the airport. I felt, so I didn't like to enter the base-ish side of the field, so I guess I should have flown a little bit more to the right initially to really set myself up for a proper 45. But this is quite a tiny kind of thing. I mean, I got the idea. But he was right that I was not exactly on the 45, but is it detail? I totally agree, Taxi. But I like him being strict. He did also that a couple of times in practice runs. He knows I appreciate detail. But for a fail, I think that's a little bit exaggerated. All right, let's go. Full flaps. Yeah, I do need to land. Wind is coming from the left, I noticed. Come on, don't drift on me now. Good. Was better drift control than when we landed at San Luis, or what was that previous stream?
Southwest 130. You started descending there on your own without being cleared for the visual approach. Sorry, I missed that.
Power in.
Do you have the airport in sight?
Far on the runway. Let's taxi to the tower so we can
right.
taxi along some.
Right, contact tower 119.9.
Is it already the exit? No, there's one exit. This is Charlie's.
That's correct, sorry.
Yeah, let's get the latest one here. The last one, I mean.
PHTM, I'm assuming you're parking on the south side here?
That's affirmative, Papa Delta Mike. Near the tower somewhere.
DHAM text parking via Charlie.
Via Charlie to parking. Thanks, Papa Mike.
And that's past the I-11, congrats.
Thank you, sir. Papa Mike.
For Alpha Mike, radar contact departure.
I passed, guys. I passed. That means that I completed my season 2. Man.
So it's 130 Las Vegas Tower, runway 26 to left.
I cannot believe it still. I'm still in the mode of I-rating. I need to fly correct.
Runway 26 left, South 130.
Thanks, Raju, Scampers. Thanks, guys. B2, thanks for the bits.
Alright, 22 Alpha Mike, so we've got a departure cancel out to restriction, reserve on navigation.
Man, 2 years. 2 years.
Correction number 4 Charlie Lima, climb maintain 1000.
Man. Instrument rated PilotEdge pilots. That's the case, Josh. Man. I cannot believe it. I-11 rating. Man, I remember the day when I sat there with my first episode and I thought, at some point I will understand what IFR stands for. I remember what an ILS, I will know what an ILS approach is. And look at me now. And this is the living proof, guys, that this is not a game. This is really a simulator and you can learn such interesting stuff. Real stuff. Even met Keith in real life. Flew with him, IFR. Now, obviously, my next step would be to visit the Flight Sim Expo and meet many of you there. Man. I-11 rated pilots. Yes! What a great feeling. That looks like a tower to me. There we are.
No, 213, the climb and maintain cancels all the climb via stuff, so you can free climb up to 19.
Alrighty.
Center 133.2.
And we come to a stop. Parking brakes set. Oh, my landing lights are still on. Who cares? I passed. Okay. I kept my transponder in. He did instruct me to go VFR, and I didn't. Let's switch off the transponder right away. 1200, there we go. Off. Avionics off. There's a mag test for you. Boom. Alrighty then. Fuel tank off. Door open. And that completes the I-11 rating. Yeah! I cannot believe it, guys. Man. So, yeah. Review. So, I noticed that I was a bit more tired than yesterday, actually. So, initially with the departure, it required too much mental focus, while actually the departure itself and the procedure are actually quite basic. So I'm actually interested also to rewatch this particular flight, because I noticed, at least I was self-conscious in that aspect, but I did effectively fly, or successfully flew that obstacle departure procedure. However, the holds, and yeah, I messed those up, and I guess because I don't account for wind correction. And what also, I think I could also improve on being a little bit more early and turning into the hold, rather than just overflying the vortex, overflying the fix, and then make the turn, obviously. So I can anticipate, so I will be a bit more precise. Thank you, Sono. Champagne, yeah. so that's something that I can be a bit more precise with, but again, within limits, I guess. Then the cruise part of it, well, I could have been more precise with the altitudes and the heading. So that's still something that I can improve on. And as part of real instrument, IFR, check rights, you need to be much more precise. I guess 50 feet or so, plus or minus, and I was 100, sometimes more. And I guess with headings, it's also much more precise. So that's still future stuff that I can optimize. And then for the approach itself went pretty well actually. With the demarc was actually quite easy. It was very slow pacing actually. Then I came in, switched over to the tower, and yeah, that went all well. Although I was actually a bit distracted, so I was having a conversation with Joe while we were going down. He was informing me or teaching me something about low approaches and cleared for a landing, something. I need to rewatch that, while I should have actually still flown that radial, and I wasn't. So I was already in visual contact with the runway, so that was not a problem. But in IMC, yeah, I should have been focused on flying that radial, but hey. Then we went missed. And then he said, what are your intentions? And I was a bit confused by that, because I already at approach, no, not with approach, with tower, I already said that we'd like to fly the missed approach procedure. But apparently I needed to say that once more, and I did. And then I continued, already set my OBS, that went all well. Then I returned to the airport. Yeah, including the radar services was not really helpful at all. I mean, I was practically just flying just on top of the Class Delta airspace there, so I was practically already, I was already there. So why should I? There was no need for me and no relevance for keeping that radar services. That was quite silly actually. But I thought like, hey, I'm still with approach. Well, give me some flight following back to the airport. But yeah, so I immediately switched to tower, and then the 45 instruction for the downwind. Yeah, that was a bit of a detail. Okay, I was at 55 angle, and I was already considering like, hey, I need to fly a little bit more to give myself some space to enter the 45. So that was all fine, and then I landed, and then we were here. Long approach also, long landing. I mean, long landing. And then I completed and I passed for my I-11. Very good. Do your mask for the crosswind. Yeah, exactly. Have you flown any GPS approaches? Learned to use the Garmin. Yes, Sono, I did. With the 430 at least. I have the 430 and I did practice doing approaches with that. Low approach request is only for VFR. Oh, that was the case for VFR. I couldn't quite understand what he was saying at the time. Oh, but that's weird, because with the I-10 rating, I did request a low approach, I think, and I also got a response from ADC, like, okay, cleared for the low approach. But apparently that's just VFR stuff. That's good to know. But nice flight overall. If you're cleared for the IFR approach, you can fly and go missed without further clearance. When you are stable on the mist, then you just call going missed flying the public. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I get your message there. Thanks, Sono. All right. Hoping that my roster is updated. Let me check, because last time, no, not with the I-10, but with the I-7 and I-8, I was too soon disconnecting from PilotEdge. So let me see if my roster has been updated. Can I? No, I apparently cannot. What is my page? PA where? That looks good. Pilot search. 6337 ID. Go. View PilotEdge websites. Pilot ratings. Yeah, no, yes, it is mentioned. Oh, I don't know if you guys can see with the balloons, but there it is, the I-11 rating. So I completed all, except for the I-9, which is a retired rating, so we needed to skip that. And the V1 back in the day, 2016, completed my journey. I'm so happy, I'm so proud. Okay, good, let's review. The flight path, so PilotEdge disconnect. Let's do this. Let's go with the recorder. Boom. Where are we? So, oh yeah, this is the arc. Oh yeah, let's have a look at the arc. This was my arc. Well, that was kind of okay-ish. Oh, this is the yeah. This was the initial chunk of the arc where I was still a bit further out at 13 nautical miles or so, and I was trying to fly a little bit more close to the airport, which I successfully did, I think. And then once I was at 12.2 nautical miles, then I resumed the normal arc, and then I continued also with the altitudes. Went pretty well. Yeah, so you can see here, and this was the problem, talking about not being precise with your headings. This is not good. In my mind, even I would, well, I don't know. These airways are 4 nautical miles on each side, but this would be this feels faily in my mind. I should be much more precise here flying this airway. And yeah, what's the result? That's the bad karma that you develop. I was too far away from the from Victorville, and then I needed to fix that. If I was just on track, I had no problem at all, and my DME would just reach 12.2 once I reached Aples. So yeah, stuff to improve on. As always, you always keep learning, even beyond the I-11 rating, I can tell you. Here are the holds. So left turn. Yeah. So yeah, you can see I was still in the protected area of the hold, so that's good. Only here a couple of times, and again there was a wind pushing me to the other side, so that's not good. So again, wind correction for the holds. I should really practice that, and I guess also for traffic patterns. I mean, that's one of the basics, right, of flying. So that's just laziness. I noticed that also in the previous stream, but I didn't prepare myself for fixing that in this stream. So those are the subtleties that are still left for me to work on. Important subtleties, I have to say. So this was the missed approach part. Thanks, Sono, for the proud wishes or proud acknowledgements. Appreciate it. Yeah, please do come over to our Discord. Taxi is there, and KIM is there, Kim. And Digital Aviator and many others talking about aviation and flight simming and new developments. So it's a really cool Discord space channel. So the Uncertified Pilot channel, you can find the link in one of the information panels here on my Twitch channel, or you can find it in the YouTube more in video information panel below, depending on where you're looking. So here I was. That's a nice airport. So here I came into Victorville. So yeah, here I was trying to, I mean, I knew that I need to be on the 45 degree. Thanks for the follow, Pump. Thanks, appreciate it. I was aware that I needed to come in at the 45. So because I was already here, I thought, well, let's fly a bit to this side then, so I can give myself some room. But I was nearing the airspace. I was already laterally on top of the airspace, but also vertically. So here I thought, well, let's just get in. I mean, whether I join downwind here or here doesn't really matter. But I knew that if I would really fly 45, I would be a bit more to the base here. So I thought, let's not do that. And that's where Joe called me out, like, hey, you're not on the 45. Well, that's just the case. I would bounce that back and say, why did you give me instructions to join the 45 degree if I was already at this side? Just allowed me to enter the right base for runway 17. Would make a lot more sense. I don't know why the right downwind would have any reason or advantage. Thanks, Cuddy. We're gonna aim for the midfield. That's true, Scampers. But it was close enough. I agree. He pulled your leg. Yeah, exactly. So yes. Let's have a look at that landing, because that landing was not bad at all. Crosswind. Well, it was quite. I believe it was the I-10 or the I-8 where I was doing a forward slip, but I was still shifting, shimmying along the center line. And this time I thought, let's just fix that. So long landing. So, I mean, why taxi all this way down? Well, you can look at the pretty airplanes, but I thought, let's just get going. You can see me crabbed in the wind. Let's have a look. Coming in, coming in, coming in, coming in. Still shimmying, still moving to the right, so correcting for that with aileron and proper pedals. Yes. Well, I was still a bit drifty to the right, but much better than last time, and then got in. One thing though that I didn't do, as you can see, my ailerons. I just let go of my yoke, essentially, while I should actually use the crosswind correction here as well, and move my ailerons to the left here, still in the wind, because I can potentially still tumble over because the wind is still coming from the left, right? Which is actually quite dangerous, and you can see many student pilots make that mistake. So they make that forward slip, they touch down and think, oh, I've just landed, and then they let go of the yoke, and yeah, just even increase your aileron correction for crosswind. And I should have done that as well, and I didn't. Taxi, so what's your feeling? I-11 was easier than I-10, right? Yeah. It most definitely was. I mean, the arc is interesting, and it's unusual, I guess. But it wasn't that difficult at all. At least not with the 172. I guess with the jet slant alpha, it might be a little bit more challenging. Yeah, the ODP was also not that challenging. I mean, well, you're climbing in a hold. So that's interesting. And yeah, again with real weather and wind correction. I mean that was actually more difficult than the DME arc. Man, I got the I-11. I'm done with the entire program. And in some way that makes me sad, because reaching out for those ratings was a really big part of my motivation to keep flying. Obviously, I just love sim flying and chatting with you guys, and I mean, there's so much reasons to do this. But now there's no I rating left or other rating that I can do other than the sky high stuff. But I don't have any hard drive space to download new scenery and upgrade my subscription. But perhaps in the near future I will. So that means that now, once I completed Season 2, I think I will do some summary videos for the CAT ratings and the I ratings. But that means that now I will transition back to my other series. And that is the development of my own 172 for X-Plane, using 3D modeling PlaneMaker to just make my own 172. All the needles, all the instruments, adding very interesting interactions with the aircraft that I would find quite interesting and useful as a student pilot. So that's up next, and I've already completed one part of that series where I finished my aerodynamic flight model of the 172. So that's already made. Perhaps I need to just tweak it a bit. I think PlaneMaker was updated by X-Plane or by Laminar as well. So now I'm ready to venture into Blender, 3D modeling, texturing and stuff. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. So I will start with that around Christmas. If you think that's interesting, be sure to join. So now these car ratings are good. Yes, they are. From the tower, among the big guys or ladies, I-11. And turn that engine off, which would be a great end. Well, not quite actually, because obviously we need to put this in later. Logbook. Date the 11th of December. From Corona to Victorville. Duration, that's a good question. Something like 36 minutes. Well, let's make it 40. Landings 1. Distance 58. Thanks for the cheers, Campers. I appreciate it. Thanks, buddy. Thank you. Solo instruments. Also simulated instrument, but I just check instrument, obviously. Cross country and remarks. Did it pass the I-11 rating? You guys cannot see with the balloons in front, but pass the I-11 rating. So proud of myself, and I genuinely are. 2 years, my gosh, this is such a cool hobby. And what's also really important to note, I guess, is the fact, obviously, that this doesn't mean that I will stop learning to improve my flying. Even though I've completed all the CAT ratings and I ratings, there's obviously still stuff to improve on, like my altitude flying, my heading flying, my holdings, the correcting for winds. One thing that I real completely familiar or completely comfortable with is ADC, which is not really not that unexpected, but I mean that's the primary service that PilotEdge provides us. I would feel very much secure, very much confident just to step into an airplane, and at least in the US, and chat with ADC, no problem. Flight following, IFR now, and that's a great achievement. I mean, there's also an acknowledgement, a great acknowledgement to PilotEdge. I mean, come on, look at what kind of experience we can gain this at home here, flying online also with you guys, learning how to master ATC, VFR, and IFR. This is just extraordinary. It's amazing how far we've come with flight simulation, and it's just starting. I mean, virtual reality is cool, but just the intellectual dimension that is added through PilotEdge, just flying and the procedures, it's just integral to my home flight simulation. So this is also a big thanks for the existence for PilotEdge. I guess, Keith, thank you for founding PilotEdge and making this possible. It's so thrilling. It's been a thrilling ride also, personally. through all the CAT ratings and the I ratings, and we will all just keep on flying and keep on learning, and perhaps the Sky High ratings will also be part of that journey. My future journeys as well, but first we're going to develop that 172. I cannot wait. So yeah, guys, that's it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of the journey. Some of you already were here at the first early days when I started my journey. Some of you just arrived here a bit later. Anyways, thank you so much for the support, follows, subscriptions, donations, tips, most of all for improving my flying. Really much appreciated that. Genuinely, it was a really great ride. Yeah, this means the end of season 2, and now we will transition over to the 172 development series. Blender, 3D modeling, texturing, making my own 172. I'm really excited about that as well. Thank you, Voju. Thank you, and Scampers and Taxi, obviously, today. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate that. Mitchie, thanks for the follow, and Big Jeff, and Raphael, and B2, thanks for the cheers. Bomb Master for the follow, and Scampers also for your bits and cheers. Really appreciate that, guys. Hoping to see you soon also with my continued development of the 172. As always, happy flights and blue skies. Bye. Palm Springs Tower, Skyway Hotel Tango, Jamaica is 10 miles north of the airport at 3000. With information X-ray, I'm for a full stop, landing on 3 left, that's it.
Papa Delta Tango, Indy Link, Palm Springs Tower, squawk 6250.
6250.
Papa Delta Tango, Indy Link, Palm Springs altimeters 2985, radar contact, about 10 miles west of the Palm Springs VOR. Presently landing runway 31 to requesting straight in for 13.
That's the
Ever correction, Papa Delta Tango, Indy Link, and straight in runway 13 left, and clear to land. Land is 0905.
Clear to land, runway 3 left, Papa Delta Tango, Indy Link, thanks.
Palm Springs clearance, Pilatus 4658 is type PC12 land code, request clearance to Vegas S-file.
This 4658, Palm Springs clearance. Good afternoon. Unable to give you S-file, and I'll be forward still. Pilatus 4658 is cleared to the Las Vegas airport. We have flight Cathedral 1 departure procedure to Palm Springs. Victor 370 to 29 Palms. Victor 538. Cresso. Join a Cresso 3 arrival. Maintain 7000. Expect flight level 2